I didn't mean what I said. I was about to go down for child neglect.
Sorry, I'm confused. So she isn't violent, unpredictable, and aggressive?
Look, I was just trying to defend myself.
So you lied to get a reduced sentence? Perhaps I should remind you, Mrs. Nealon, that perjury is a very serious offence.
Oh, I didn't lie.
No further questions, Your Honour.
But she's not like that now. She was in a bad way. Her dad had just been accused of murder.
Thank you, Mrs. Nealon. Does the prosecution have any further questions?
No, my lady.
Then you may step down. We'll take a short recess until this afternoon when we'll return to hear the closing arguments.
Right, I should get down to the canteen. Those Cornish pasties fly off the shelf.
Right, well, I'll see you down there. I want to check in with that detective, see if they found anything on Stefan.
Might have come off the road. He could be down a ravine. Or what if he's trapped and he has to cut off his own arm like in that film?
Emma, I can say with some confidence that he is not down a ravine. We live in Manchester, not the flipping Grand Canyon. But stop worrying.
Sorry, I just got this horrible feeling something bad's happened.
Well, that's it. It's just a feeling, isn't it?
I was supposed to move in today. I got him a special key ring. Mrs. Lock and Mr. Key fit together perfectly.
I think maybe he's getting cold feet.
No. Why would you say that?
I don't know, the creepy key ring, maybe.
Well, I've not given it to him yet. Well, it's not creepy. It's romantic. Hey, Todd! You've not seen Curtis, have you?
Oh, yeah, he's in the Rovers.
Did someone say something?
No.
They must have done. Or why would you throw slime at the Harvest Festival display?
No one said anything. At all.
What do you mean?
I mean, no one sat next to me in class, no one would be my partner in PE, and no one wanted to play with me at playtime.
Well, not even your friends. Why?
Because their parents told them not to. No one wants their kids hanging around with a psycho.
Don't use that word, love. That's not what you are.
Look, right. Today, first day back, was always going to be tough, wasn't it? Eh? But the thing about kids, right, is they often do the exact opposite to what the parents tell them. Trust me, I know this from experience. Look, it's gonna take some time, kid, okay? But it will get better.
I'm not going back to that school. Not ever. You can't make me.
Well, did you manage to smooth things over?
I mean, I managed to talk her out of committing a double murder, if that's what you mean, but she doesn't want to see either of us again. Ever.
Oh. Well, I'm a glass-half-full kind of guy, so I'll take that as a very positive development.
Look, no offence, but she's been giving you the brush off for months. What difference is it going to make to your life? I'm going to have to move out.
Did she say that?
She doesn't want to see me, George. What am I going to do? Hide down the back of the sofa?
No, don't despair. Eileen won't stay mad at you for long. She never does.
This is different. You don't know what Pat Phelan did to her. It was... Now I've gone and brought it all flooding back.
Babes, you really need to try these. They're great. I've forgotten what they're called, but they do come with this little umbrella thingy. And look, it's raining. No, it's not. Oh, it's raining. No, it's not.
We've been worried sick about you. We thought something had happened.
I sent you a text. Oh, I forgot to press send.
What are you doing?
I mean, not obvious. I'm getting drunk. Come off it. What, you never had a little drinky poos with your lunch?
We've been missing all morning.
I say lunch. I meant breakfast.
What is wrong with you?
Well, that's the thing, Emma, innit? No one knows.
I don't think I can do this anymore.
Got the memo then?
The one that said you never want to set eyes on me again.
Yeah, the very same.
I did. And before you tell me to get lost, I am willing to comply with said memo. Except for the fact that I couldn't live with myself if I didn't apologise first. I take full responsibility for this whole sorry debacle. Eileen, none of this was Todd's fault.
Right, well, you said your bit. Now get lost.
There's one final thing.
That was the final thing?
Final thing. I'm gonna get rid of the ashes now. I was wondering if you had a request for Pat's resting place. I could hoover him up, chuck him in the canal, send him on a shuttle to outer space, whatever you want. Well, not the last thing, obviously.
Look, I'm sorry, okay?
It's not me you should be apologising to. It's your daughter. You know, the one you just throw under the bus.
How was I supposed to know they was going to drag all that up? That's your job, isn't it?
Kelly practically begged me to let you give evidence. And against my better judgment, I let you. Because I naively thought that you would actually be on her side. But the only side you've ever been on is your own. If Kelly goes to prison, it'll be your fault.
Don't you dare put all that on me. If Edward Kelly goes down, you've got no one else to blame but yourself.
The deed is done.
Really? Exactly where I said.
Dog pooping on the wreck. It'll raise a few eyebrows if anyone finds out. But I can safely say he finally got the ending he deserves. Anyway, I'll do my best to stay out your way from now on. Bye, Eileen.
Oh, get back here, you big lump.
All is forgiven.
You know how I feel about being lied to, George. First Pat, then Jan. And every other man I've had the displeasure of knowing.
Yeah, but I'm not like those other men.
For the sake of argument, what if you are? You're hardly going to admit it. Then it'll be down to me to find out when I'm madly in love and got everything to lose.
Madly in love. Hey, I like the sound of that.
I'm just explaining that's why we can never be anything more than friends.
Friends? All right. Well, at the risk of sounding ungrateful, it feels like you're just looking for excuses not to give me a chance, you know, romantically.
Well, of course I'm making excuses. I don't want to get hurt again. Pat really did a number on me. And George, I really believed he was a good man. I mean, it sounds ridiculous when we now know what he did. But I fell for it. And when the mask slipped, it completely broke me.
I understand why you're scared. It's only natural after what you went through, but think of all the things you're missing out on. All the benefits of a loving relationship.
When you say benefits, you mean...
Someone to take care of you. Someone to warm your slippers. So would you like them? Warming.
So, what did the police say?
Eli's dad got the job fair and square, according to Stefan. What did I miss?
Great cheese on your pasta.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what this case really boils down to is, who do you believe? Mr. Brent or Miss Nealon? The talented young man with a bright future ahead, or the young woman whose own mother describes her as violent and unpredictable?
What you need to understand is that Kelly isn't the monster that the prosecution or my learned friend would have you believe. I know her. And quite well, in fact. And has she had a hard life? Yes. And did she miss out on the privilege of a stable and loving family? Most definitely. But does that mean that she's capable of kicking and beating a young man to death? Absolutely not. And I appeal to you to look at the facts of this case and not let your prejudices about Kelly's background cloud your judgment.
So let's look at the facts, shall we? Kelly was found to have blood spatter on the dress she was wearing that night, which puts her in close proximity to the attack. Close enough to have done it.
Conveniently enough for my learned friend, Corey's clothing has never been found. He changed out of the clothes that we know he was wearing when the attack took place and disposed of them before any forensic examination could be done. His trainers, by his own admission, were put in the washing machine, so if there is any lack of evidence to indicate that Corey was Seb's attacker, it's because Corey was mindful enough to destroy it. Now, why would he do that? It's because that, unlike Kelly, his clothes and his trainers were covered in blood.
Let's move on to the witnesses. Nina claims to have seen Corey attacking Seb. She also claims to have heard Kelly shouting at him to stop. But none of this evidence was presented until the day before the trial. At best, this is a false memory triggered by the reconstruction of the crime conducted by a cohort of Kelly's supporters. At worst, this is a deliberate attempt to pin the blame on my client.
What reason would Nina have to lie? She loved Seb, so surely it would be safe to assume that she would want to see justice done. And as to the assertion that Nina somehow created a false memory, it is strange that she described the exact same scenario as Eli did. Only in his version of events, Kelly was the attacker, and Corey was the one screaming at her to stop. But let me remind you that he, too, changed his account of the attack during the trial itself.
I submit to you that of the two witnesses, Eli is by far the more reliable. He's already been convicted for the attack on Nina, meaning he has little to gain by misleading this court.
Well, that's a lie. His dad was given a bug.
Milady, this evidence was not submitted to the court.
Members of the jury, you must ignore that allegation. And Miss Franklin, I know this process is distressing for you, but I will remove you from the court if there are any more outbursts like that. You may continue.
As I was saying, unlike Nina, Eli didn't suffer any trauma to the head or memory loss. He clearly saw Kelly kicking Seb as he lay on the floor. She is the one responsible for taking that young man's life, not Corey. And for that reason, I urge you to find him not guilty.
Kelly did make a terrible mistake that night. She left a helpless man to die. I've tried to ask myself, why would she do that? And I believe her when she says she panicked. She knew that by taunting Nina, she was painting a target on their backs. And she felt horribly guilty and responsible for what Corey then went on to do to Seb. But his actions are not her responsibility, and she could not possibly have foreseen just how far he would go. And finally, you may ask yourselves, why didn't she go to the police in the days that followed? That's something I can answer for you quite simply. She didn't think she'd be believed because of who she was. She didn't have a father or an army of lawyers protecting her like Corey did, and telling her what to say so as not to incriminate herself. She only had the truth. But she thought the system was rigged against her. Please, don't prove her right on that count. And members of the jury, I ask you, follow the evidence and find Kelly Nealon not guilty.
Look, now I've probably blown my chances of moving in.
Is that why you did it? Because lads do that, don't they? Behave like idiots so that the girl will dump them because they're too cowardly to do it themselves.
Look, I'd love to say that this is all part of some carefully constructed plan, but the sad fact of it is I was just having a bad day. Look, I came to say I'm really sorry. And I promise I don't ever get drunk at breakfast. Apart from this one time in Fuengirola, but, you know, I haven't been to bed, so it doesn't really count.
I just don't think I could be with someone that turns to drink every time they're having a bad day.
I don't want to be that person either. I just thought I'd have a definite diagnosis by now, yeah, and I'm just in this weird limbo where I want to find out what's wrong with me so I can just get on and deal with it. But at the same time, I'm terrified of finding out.
I know. Me too.
I wish you didn't have to feel like that. Who knows? Maybe subconsciously I was trying to push you away.
Well, it nearly worked. But you don't get out moving in with me that easily.
Really?
Just don't make me regret it. Next time you're having a bad day, talk to me instead of slinking off to the pub.
Yeah, I promise. Hey, I bought you this keyring after you asked me to move in with you. You see what it says?
Mrs. Locke and Mr. Key fit together perfectly. See, it's not creepy at all.
You're amazing.
Kelly, you mustn't.
No, don't. These past few weeks, I felt like everyone's been against me, and you know, now I've just got this little bit of hope, so. And it feels good, so just don't take it away. Okay, not yet.
Okay. You have a good night.
All I'm saying is if you did get him to change his statement in exchange for a job, you'd better have covered your tracks.
What is her problem? What's it matter now anyway?
That's a stupid boy. Kelly's defence team are all over this.
Right. Keep your hair on.
I have moved heaven and earth for you, son. Don't make me regret it.
Have you got Mrs. Chalk, the teacher?
Hang on a minute. Did you look at my cards when I went to the loo? Actually, didn't you want to be a teacher one day?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you have to do really well at school for that.
I'll just work with you in the garage then.
You still need qualifications.
You don't have any.
Yes, I do.
Or maybe I'll just work in a factory like Mum.
I did pretty well at school, thank you very much.
Yeah, but come on, I mean, Hope's much cleverer than you and me ever were. It'd be such a shame to see her go to waste in a factory.
Or a garage.
Fine, I'll go back to school. But I'm not stupid, I know what you just did.
She is smart, you know. She's too smart.
Thanks for being with us today, Ty. I'm not sure I could have handled it on my own.
Look, Alina wants me to go to Romania to see her family, but I'm gonna get out of it because you need me around, don't you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, I would feel better being around. You know, what if Hope has another wobbler?
Go. Have a holiday. Spend some time with Alina. I think you owe her that, don't you?
Right, well, I'm gonna.
Hi. Look, I've found somewhere else to live, but I can't move in till next week.
You don't have to move out your pillock. I was just blowing off steam.
You're not still mad about the ashes?
I'm over it, just. Anyway, you heading out?
Well, I was going to make myself scarce, but maybe I don't need to anymore. Do I need to?
No, but it's just such a lovely evening. Why don't you get yourself down Canal Street?
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Have a nice time. Mary? Sean? All clear. Sorry about the cloak and dagger, but I just didn't want any questions from that lot.
Oh, I quite agree. Now then, you fetch your slippers. I'll get the fire on. Well, I bet you're glad that's all over.
Well, it's not, though, is it? You could be waiting days for a verdict.
Well, in that case, we better find something to occupy our minds.
Oh, yeah, like what?
1,000-piece jigsaw?
Do you think they've done enough? You know, to get Corey convicted?
Could go either way. But there's nothing anyone can do about it now.
You were right. Stefan bribed that witness. I heard him and Corey talking.
We've been down that road. The police couldn't find a thing.
Well, then they're not looking hard enough. I think he knows his son's guilty.
But he's done everything he can to protect him.
Yeah. But I don't think it sits easy with him.
Well, tell me what you want me to do.
Nothing.
That they were really rattled about what you said in court. But you have to stay out of it from now on. Just let me do my job. Okay? Trust me, I will find something to nail him with. I promise.
Telling the stories of those that survived the tragic day that changed New York and the world. 9/11 Life Under Attack is new tomorrow night at 9. Next on ITV, new evidence could be the breakthrough the team are looking for. Our brand new drama, Stephen, continues in a moment.